Hello, all you fine and dandy admin folks. This is going to be a quick little refresher tutorial on signings with a lot of the new stuff we've included. A few things have changed and a few things are different with the value update. So we're going to look at sporting here in an example. So as you can see here, Fire Puma, he's making some signings for next season. So he's got a whole list of players here. Just making sure when you go to update players that they are listed either in the one post, or if the manager does a different post. Either way, just make sure that they're listed when they confirm. So Rundown Beres, you can see him here. Usually they will have the seasons and nationality and then any clauses. This guy doesn't have any, so you obviously don't need to worry about adding anything besides the one season. He also is saying nationality is leaving it up to the players, so either they're going to specify, like USA or Ireland, or they may, like Diaz here, they may not say anything. So in this case, he would either be USA, or if he's already in the system, he would just be whatever that is. So what this should have done is essentially, when we did the value update, is anyone with 2 million or 5 million is in the system. So you have to find them. And anyone who's not, like Curve like KDB, will have this 1 million value, and they will probably not have a free agent badge, so you'll need to make an account for them. So let's just update these first two. So Rundown Beres and Curve like KDB. So let's go to over here. So there's a little bit more information here, as you can see, but this is still the same on the side. So people without roles. Now, obviously, normally you can come down here, click this one, and go to all. Right now we have a few too many players. So if we go to page 11, you can see, yeah, we got about 30 more players than we need, and then we can start using with the all again. So in case you wanted to look up a player, whether right now or in the future, and you couldn't find them players without roles, but you know they played because they have that 2 million, what you can do is just go back to the most recent season. Let's come here. And you can try other seasons too, but come to the most recent season, go to player stats. Check all the leagues, go to 1000, hit update. And now you should be able to control F. And he actually did not play this season. It's most recent season. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that he's USA, but if you really didn't know, you can go back to season 10, whatever season. I know he's played before. I recognize his name. But yeah, so let's go to the next page, page 10, see if we can find him. Okay, maybe page 9. So Rundown Beres. So just make sure on the player profile, you go here, click badge, give him the correct badge, as always, and then go to edit profile. So now there's going to be a few new options here. So we added in the minimum release clause fee. So if someone adds a minimum release clause to a player, you will basically all you have to do is put that number in here. So I did this as a test the other day. I put in 40 million. It works. There's also these other options that we've now added. So there's a team option, player option, no buyout, and no release. If they have one or more of these, you basically just click the box and then hit save. In this case, it's just a simple, there's no details on here, so it's just a 1 season simple contract. So no minimum release, none of these, just a 1 season contract. Hit save. Scroll up here. You can click his name right here to double check. So now he's got the badge and he's got the season. And now you come back over to League of Public, you can click edit on his profile and give him the sporting role, player role. So now he's good. And then we know the other guy who we were trying to add, Curve like KDB, he does not, looks like he has no value, or no, 1 million value, so it is not currently in the system, and no free agent badge, so we know we need to go back to sporting and we're going to add him. But let's go ahead and go to his profile and do the same thing for him. Let's give him the sporting badge. And let's go edit. And so some players who signed up after we did the value update will need the 1 million put in and put it in just like that. And as you can see, Once you've typed it in, it should pop up for you. But now he's got the 1 million already. We just need to give him the 1 season contract. Hit save. And the other way, you can either click right there, you can go up here, take out the personal. Either way will get you back to their player profile. 1 million value, season, and the badge. And then we come here to sporting. For you, that would be going to player, list people, player. And it would take you to AC Milan, and then you would come down to sporting. And then you would create new players. So his gamer tag is curve like KDB. We'll actually go back to the signing post just to be sure. So curve like, I like to just kind of copy and paste. Sometimes they'll have the exact one in the here too. So the more exact we get, the better. It'll help us in the long run. And then I think he said Ireland. So that's IRL. And create. And now he's good on League Republic and the forum. Just come down here, type updated. I only updated those guys, so rundown and KDB. And post quick reply. And there we go. They are now good to go. This should just been a refresher for all of you. If you wanted to fast forward through a little bit, that's okay. But where it's different now is like I mentioned with the clauses. So I noticed there was one signing. It's a transfer signing. It's a little bit different, but there is one team that has gone ahead and put the first option in. So you can come here and you can see Benfica to Atlanta, 5/6 poppy from 5 million, 1 season with the player option clause. So let's see how this would work. So basically, for any of these clauses, any of these things are going to be here in the new rules. Team option, player option, no contract buyout clause, no release clause, or minimum release fee clause. The player must confirm, and they must confirm that specific clause. So as you can see here, let's say this is a free agent signing, not a transfer. We could go ahead and add him. So 1 season with the player option, 5/6 confirms 1 season with player option. Looks like he edited that. Yeah, you can see that. So they both have now confirmed 1 player with the 1 season with the 1 player option. So if we were going to add him, we would go to his profile. Obviously, he would have a free agent badge. We would give him the Atlanta badge. But then when you go to edit profile, you would come down here. You would make sure he has the 1 season contract. Then you would also click this player and then hit save. It's check marks. So if they have a player option and a no release option, you click both of those. Whatever it is, you just click those and save. That way we don't have to do any kind of external logging of the contract types. As long as you are doing your diligence, it should automatically do this. So theoretically, we would click player option, hit save. Now, actually, let's do that to show you what it looks like. So we'll save personal settings. We'll come back up here, go to 5/6 poppy. So it's got his value, it's got his contract, and now there's a new thing that appears called option, and it says player. If there's other ones, it'll do a comma and it'll list all the ones out there on the profiles. That way anybody can see what their status is. When we go to update contracts, whether we're still in the form or we've transferred over, we have all that information. And same thing if we do a minimum release fee, that number will appear if we decide to do that. So we'll take him back to what he is for now until that transfer is confirmed. So essentially that's kind of the basics of how you'll update him. But I really would like everyone to really read through all the rules, obviously, if you haven't yet. A few things have changed here. So teams may purchase releases based on transfer budget. Next season, we will have contract fees based upon their value. But we're not doing that until season 13, so you don't have to worry about that. Nothing really has changed here with procedures. The roster's locked when the season's over, 6 p.m. deadline. Contract buyouts, so players can only buy out their contract once per season, so we can start a running list once someone's had their contract bought out. That's the only time it can happen that season. But this is the big one. So we added 3 season contracts, and then we added all these clauses. So if you follow soccer, you play FM, you kind of understand this kind of stuff. You probably don't need to read all every little bit of it, but essentially it's 1 season team option. You can sign a 1 season contract, add a team option. Manager at the end of the season can say, hey, I want to keep you or not. Player options, the same thing for the player. No contract buyouts. You can read them all. Just really become an expert on this whole section here. Because as we get close to the season, you're going to have some questions. People are going to finally look at this. They're going to be like, wait, what is all this? But the most important thing when you go to update these signings is this part right here in this second paragraph. Manager must specify it, and the player must confirm it and say they confirm that bit of it. Otherwise, if the player doesn't confirm that and they just say I confirm, you only add them to the team. You don't add the clause to the contract. And then obviously, if they do have a clause in the contract, make sure you go and check the right box or give them the minimum release fee clause. And if the release fee clause happens, I'll make a little note. I'll make a little subsection in the project management Discord for everyone to list any that you get, so I can go ahead and take the transfer budget out of there. Let's finish going over this real quick. So this hasn't really changed the player transfer rules. We have details in the end of season prize bonuses now. That's not really going to be affected during the season. We're now letting players sign a one-season pre-contract. So if we get to the contract extension season, you're on a one-season deal. There's another team that wants you. You can go ahead and sign a pre-contract for them. Agree to a deal for them, but only in the extension window. And then the last bit is going to be the changes to the player value system. This is something we're going to have to work into the back end of the new website, but essentially, the better you play, the more you'll go up in value, you win trophies, etc., etc. So that's all the biggest changes in terms of contracts and what to do. Just a quick refresher on all the things to do. Obviously, if you're taking a player off a roster, you want to make sure you take them off League Republic and you take off their badge and their contract. And then obviously if they had any player options or anything like that, you would take those off as well. So hopefully that was helpful, and it's a little quick refresher. Tried to keep it relatively short. Once again, thanks guys for helping out, and hopefully this kind of clears up any questions about all that.